Uh-oh, I think we are live. I might have went live prematurely, but it's okay. It's all good. As long as y'all folks get to see this, seriously, that's the whole purpose of going live. Um, yeah. What I'm looking at right here and what y'all folks are looking at is an evolution of sorts, and my mind is just in a whole different world because what we are capable of creating using AI art tools just is just way past the zone of my comprehension, my imagination, etc. It's just getting really out of control. So what you're seeing here, this is an actual police car. Man. Oh, and let me go on Facebook. I forgot to go live on Facebook. My bad. Hold on one second. Let's see if we are streaming. And I don't even know if we're streaming live. Could not access the specified channel or stream. Please double check. Okay, hold on one second. I might not be live on the other one. All right, so I think I'm live on, what is this? YouTube. Okay, so I'm not live on Facebook because I forgot to get my live key. Hold on one second. Where's the live key? Streaming key. Copy. All right. And let me go to, hold on one second, folks. I apologize for this, but I'm trying to go live too on Facebook, and I kind of messed up on my settings. Did it prematurely. So let's apply. Okay. And also start streaming there. All right. So this should get me live on Facebook. Yep, now we're live. And we are officially going live. Here we go, folks. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Let me double check the audio. Just for one quick hot second. And hold on one second. Sorry about this, folks. Sometimes I have technical difficulties with this because I'm not used to going live on multiple channels at the same time. All right, good. We're good. So, what did I bring y'all folks to today? Well, we are on huggingface.co, and this is a actual AI model tool type of website. So it's like it goes into projecting to an online audience all of the differing AI tools that are available and their models. So what you're seeing here, this one in particular is known as Finetuned Diffusion, and not too many people on the planet know about it. And mainly because when you go to Hugging Face, let me show you real quick. If you go to huggingface.co, you're not going to see too much going on. And this is actually logged in. When you're not logged in, you're not going to see much. Currently, I'm actually on Finetuned Diffusion, and this is the first one that I liked, but I like a great deal of whatever is on it. But when you go on it, let me see if I can get you to the spaces location. So let me get you to this. So when you go on it, you're not going to really have much going on until you choose to go to a particular model that's being worked on or particular AI tool that you choose to utilize. So there's a whole bunch of different stuff. Here goes the fine-tuned diffusion one. So if you go to huggingface.co/spaces, you can get to it. And it is just, man, oh man, as you saw, one graphic will definitely tell you of its potency and its full potential. So this page has like 522 different pages on it. So if you want to scroll through all of those pages, it's kind of like going on Google and just searching through tons and tons of websites. But this is within the huggingface.co spaces page. It's like an archive basically of machine learning apps and AI tools basically. So machine learning apps are AI tools. But let's go in and showcase what I was talking about. So this is an evolution of sorts from a lot of different iterations that I was able to generate and play around with. So if you're not familiar with AI art tools, this stuff may confuse you a little bit and get you kind of thrown off. But all this is on the right of the screen is the options. And these are the advanced options made readily available through the Finetuned Diffusion. And it's one of the secret sources to what I was able to generate. Another thing is this graphic here. If you don't have this graphic, you're not going to get this car. So this graphic here was generated a while back by another graphic and another graphic and another graphic and another graphic and another graphic. So I've been going so hard for like 2 weeks, and eventually I derived one day at having some really nice AI art of cars, and I call them AI hot rods. So whenever I find one unique and I use what is known as image to image, I'll plug the image in and I'll try to work on whatever I can to adjust to make it look a certain way. So this blew my mind because that car is literally flying. So it's a flying car without wings, and it doesn't seem like it has much else there, which is interesting. So it doesn't have like no kind of hover type of thing going on, and it doesn't have any base to it, like no floor or ground or anything like that. So that's really a unique looking graphic that I couldn't make any other way besides using the AI art generators. And it's 100% unique to anything that's out there, because I don't think anybody has created this before. So in order to get to this level, you have to really, really work hard at understanding what you're doing. So to start out, just for those who are brand new to AI art, if you have no idea about any of this stuff, let's start out from the top. So what we're using, like I said, is Finetuned Diffusion. And when you get to this page, you want to read a good amount of what you see, because this helps you to start to learn and pick up more like the puzzle pieces to what the AI art tool can do. So this says it's a demo for multiple fine-tuned stable diffusion models trained on different styles. So basically it's offering up multiple different styles of models that you can utilize within itself. Now, keep in mind, you can do it in multiple ways. So you can use this page to generate your AI art if you choose to, in these model styles that you see. So Arcane, Archer, Elden Ring, Spider-Verse, Modern Disney, so on and so forth. So you can create your AI art in these model styles. And these are AI art styles that were basically trained through machine learning. So whatever art style that you're looking for, it can go in and do it at the click of a button. And that's what's so powerful with this tool. So it says model right here, right? So you can go in and hit this drop menu and you can choose whatever model style that's offered. So the one that I enjoy utilizing is Midjourney version 4 style. Now with Midjourney, if you wanted to get Midjourney and get it working, it will give you about, I would say, 10 graphics for you to create for free. And after that, it's going to prompt you to say that your free version is over and now you have to start paying in order to keep using it. So that was like in the first 2 days that I learned about AI art tools. I tried Midjourney and then I ran into that issue. And then I decided, let me just find something that's free, because I don't like paid tools too much, because I'm not really getting much out of it besides an image, maybe a nice quality graphic, and that's about it. So I'm not really using those images for like a monetized purpose and a commercial purpose, I should say. So I'm not really getting anything back from it. So I don't see myself really making much out of a lot of the stuff that I was creating in the past. But now we got all these free tools like from huggingface.co/spaces, where we got Finetuned Diffusion, and there's tons of other ones where I can actually make something of quality, very high quality, and actually earn off of it like this. So I can use this graphic and I can actually earn by putting it on a t-shirt or putting it with some sort of an art release that I want to put out there. I can enter it into a contest and I can win. I'm telling you, I could win with this. It's pretty crazy. So see over here, you got the advanced options. So let me give you a little bit more details before we get down to the advanced options, because that is one of the keys. Like I said, it's the secret sauce. So keep focusing on this options here. It doesn't say advanced, but it is. So right here under all these model styles or AI art styles, you can skip the queue and load custom model in the collab. So what that means is that there is another way to generate your model, your not your model, but your AI art. So you can skip what is known as a queue. And a queue basically means that there's tons of people who are also using this website for free. So this is the whole thing. When you're getting free stuff, most definitely dealing with AI art, you're going to end up having to have a slowdown online because they're using a GPU. So they're using a graphic processing unit, which is up here. It says running on A10G. And sometimes it's going to be too many people using it at the same time. So they will push you in a queue when you try to generate. So when you hit the generate button, which allows you to actually create the AI art, it will slow it down. It will slow down a good amount. That's what the queue does. So if you want to bypass the queue, you can go and skip over to, let me show you real quick. So we over here on Google Collab, and this is not too hard and too complicated. All it takes is 2 clicks. Once you get to the Google Collab page, all you got to do is run the one little cell that they have to the left of the screen over here, a little play button that says install dependency. So you left click it and let it run. Once it turns into a little check mark, it should be done. Then all you have to do is go to the second one that says run and click that one. And that one's going to keep running continuously. It's never going to end until you end your session. So keep that in mind. It's kind of confusing. If you read some of the details here, you're going to think that it's going to end, but it doesn't end. So what it's going to do is it's going to get to a certain point and it's going to wait for you. So first you run it. Once it waits for you, then you'll use, there's like a little link that's there. So let me show you real quick. Scroll up if I can get to the link. But there's like 2 different links. There's a public link and there's more of a local link. Here it is right here. So once it gets to this here, it says running on local URL and running on public URL. Make sure you left click the public URL. I never tried the local URL. I don't know what that's going to do, but it's probably going to try to run off of my machine, and I don't want to use my GPU to do all this stuff. So instead, I'm using the Google Collab page, which that's what this whole collab is set up for. So it has a virtual GPU and RAM that goes to Google's, cloud data centers or grid computers or something way far away from where you're at, where your computer's located. So it ties into Google, and Google's offering up all this GPU for free. So you go in and you just left click this link and it brings you to right back to the Finetuned Diffusion page. So that's all you have to do is click that link. Once you click the link, now you just run it just like you would regularly run it, which would be you choose your style for your model right here. So you left click, hit the drop menu and choose your style. And then you drop in here whatever you choose to prompt. So whatever you want to put in text format, you want to call whatever details that you want to bring up to generate your graphic, you put that in here. So how AI art works is that there's a blank space that you have to put text into. So you detail exactly what you want to create or generate, and then you click the generate button. And it will go in and try to generate it. So if you don't have an image, you won't be able to use image to image. In order to use image to image on the options here, you just go to image, and then you click in this zone here. So it looks like this. Either drag and drop an image in there, or you left click it. When you left click it, you can choose any image on your computer. I recommend not to choose stuff that has copyright issues in it, because you don't know if it's gonna cause you any problems. So let me show you a good example. I'll go use this one, which is something that I drew a while back. Hit open. So now it's like a smartphone character or something like that I drew from my mind, which I'm not really good at drawing from my mind. I'm good at drawing from looking at graphics or looking at images. So let me just hit generate so y'all folks can see. But as you see, this quality here will go bye-bye when I do that. So before I do that, let me save this image, because I did make an error a little while back and I kind of got rid of it by mistake. So hold on one second. I'm gonna hit save. And before you move, if you got a graphic that you like, you want to right click and go save image as. Reason being is because there's no other way to download it. They don't offer anything else here for options to download it once you get your graphic. So what we're going to do is hit generate now, and we're going to use whatever text information that I have in this prompt area, and that will help you to generate. Now, if you don't know how to do text prompts, don't worry about it. I'll give y'all folks a really dope tool through Hugging Face that could help you to get your prompts generated automatically, like an automated text prompt generator type of tool. So we're going to hit generate. You can type in one keyword, one little word, and it'll go and generate the whole text prompt for you. So I'll show you that. While this is generating and running, we'll do that. So let me go to it. This one is called prompt extend. So you don't have to know anything. All you have to do is type in one word, and it's that simple. So like this one I put beautiful cyborg, and then it created a huge extension to my text prompt, and then I just omitted the things that I didn't want it to detail. So then from there, you just highlight, right click, and copy, and then you just bring it into whatever zone of reference that you want. So if it's here, you can bring it into this section. I have a bunch of them open up. Let's see. Here goes another one. Super powerful graphics that I was able to generate. And this is when I realized that this tool is just mind-blowing. It's literally mind-blowing. As you can see, this is just crazy. Original image right here. This is the image that it generated off of whatever text prompt that I put in. So you go in, you just put your little text information in there, highlight it, and then paste if there's something else that you had in there before. So let's see hold on, which graphic did I get? I know it's running. It's running over here. Okay, here we go. Now look at this. Look at that. That is crazy. What in the world is this? Off of this little thing, this little, I don't know, cell phone face creature guy or whatever it is, out pop this. Now that is just, that's crazy. I'm going to save him and I'm going to put him in my cyborg folders. So let me talk about the prompt real quick, but let me just get this in here. I'm going to call it Cyborg 11. I mean, I've been going hard. I'm telling y'all folks, I've been really, really going hard. And I've never even got anything this high quality like this. Who knows what you can generate just by something simple. I just put this in there and that popped out. I never knew that would happen, but I just gave it a try just to see what would happen. All right, so I'm gonna talk more about this text prompt stuff. So in the text prompt area, there's some things that I added myself. So you can add some things yourself if you want. I added UHD 16K. What that means is ultra high definition. 16, more like K would be, it's pixels. It's like 16,000 pixels basically. And then let's see, 300 DPI, that's more for like the pixel quality, and then 64 megapixels MP. So I put all of that in there. If you want, you can throw that into your text prompt areas as well, and also put in Octane render. If that prompter tool thing doesn't hook you up, hold on one second. If this prompter tool doesn't hook you up and put Octane render, you want to put that text in there. So this one in particular doesn't have, oh yeah, it does have it. It's right here, Octane render. Because Octane render basically is something that a lot of people use. It's a render engine and it's pretty powerful. So what it will do is try to render it on a high scale. So let me just show you some of the results I got so far. So I got this really dope cyborg art. Got a bunch of them. I mean, it is just crazy. I've been going so hard trying to generate stuff that is unique and stuff that other people I don't think have actually thought of creating. This one in particular didn't turn out the way I wanted it. It doesn't look that great, but I'm going to work on it. And the reason is the image that I used for image to image was very low quality in pixels. So the reason why I wanted y'all folks to see this is because when you're in this zone over here for image to image and you plug in something, you really want something that has high quality pixels. I know I did use something that didn't look too good, which is, hold on, over here, and out popped something really good. But for the most part, from my experience, if you got low quality pixels and you tried hard to get that to look good, but it doesn't look that great, like the pixel quality is very, very low, you're going to tend to transfer all of those pixels over to the graphic that you're trying to generate. So let me see if I can show y'all folks an example. Let's see what this one does. So it looks like the pixels don't look that great or whatever. So we'll just try that and hit generate and see what it does. Now, this is the fine-tuned diffusion through the Google Collab. So let me show you real quick what it does when it's running, so you can see the proof that it actually works. So we're going to scroll this all the way down. Hold on one second. And this stuff you don't have to worry about, but it's pretty much giving you the details as to if it's running or not and how soon is it going to end. So you see where it shows 100%. When it first starts, as soon as you hit the generate button, you're going to notice that it's going to change percentage. So let's go back. That means if it's at 100%, that means that you ran it and it's done. Now look at that. From this to this, pretty cool. Now, the quality of the pixels in this graphic, it's okay, but it's not the best. It's not the best scale and level of resolution and pixel quality that you can actually get. So if I had a much higher quality graphic of this, I probably could get a better quality output. So what I would have to do is actually have that graphic on hand. So I actually do have that. Let me go in, and this is from Unreal Engine, by the way, folks. This graphic right here. So let me just go in and edit it down. It's a MetaHuman graphic that they use for Unreal Engine, like the intro to MetaHuman. So let me save it, and we're gonna go in and try to use that one. So let's hit open, and now we're gonna generate and see what it does. It may not actually generate this again, but since it may not do that, I'm just gonna go in and save it. So let's hit save, and we're gonna generate one more time. Let me show you how the percentage will go up. It says the following part of your input was truncated because Clip can only handle sequences up to 77 tokens. I don't know what that means, but that's neither here nor there. We got percentage right here. It's going up to 40%, and then once it goes to 100, like I said before, that means that it's over. It ended. So this is through the Google Collab page. So this page is not going to present to you an actual graphic or image. All it's set up for is so that you can make the connection through the Gradio.app. So this Gradio.app page is what allows you to basically send or bypass the queue, like they were stating. So you bypassing the queue. So when a queue gets clogged up and you're like trying hard to generate stuff and you notice that it's starting to get too many numbers on the queue, it's going to say up here certain amount of numbers on the queue. So let me just show you real quick. We're going to go in. I'm going to change one little thing so I don't get the exact same graphic. So I'm going to change to different seed. And I'll talk about this whole seed stuff. I'll talk about all the settings eventually. But for now, don't worry about the settings. Just want y'all folks to see what is capable of being done. So this one is through huggingface.co. This is not the actual .gradio.app that's tied to the Google Collab page. So the one that I'm using over here is through the huggingface.co spaces page. So we're going to hit generate. And if it's clogged up, you'll see it's going to say queue and it's going to give you a number up here. So once that happens, that means that, like I said earlier, it's going to back up and it's going to time out. So it may be delayed for a while. So it might take a minute to 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes long. Meanwhile, if you want to bypass it, definitely use the technique like it says here. So opening Collab. I'm just doing a quick review. Scroll up. Well, I have to scroll up. Y'all folks would be up here. Run the play button over here where it says run cell. Wait for it to finish and it turns green, check mark. And then you run the next one, which is number 2, the second cell. And then when you see at the bottom, very bottom location over here is going to have those 2 website URLs. Go for the public one, left click it. It sends you here, and then basically follow and proceed with all of the information and the settings that you chose to do on the other page. So when you're over here doing your whatever content you're trying to generate, use the same settings if you want the same quality graphics. So other than that, that is pretty much it. So what I'll be doing now, I'm going to break down the options. So you can go into the advanced options, figure out that part, and then hopefully you can create your own content as well. So all of this, like I said, is free. So you don't have to pay a dime. What it takes is the investment of time, basically. So you invest your time, you take, whatever amount of time out of your day, and you can literally go in and start generating stuff like this, like very high quality graphics off of other graphics that maybe you generated elsewhere. So, or you can go into like a Pexels website, which I'm going to try this here. Pexels is an actual public domain. So I go in, got this graphic of these ladies. I'm going to see what happens when I pour that in. So say I wanted to work on that here. I'm going to end this particular graphic and then go in and try to scoop those up. Hold on one second. After this, I'll get into what I was talking about in terms of the options. So we'll throw that in there and see what it does after we hit generate. And I'm using the same exact details that I prompted for this particular graphic design that I was coming up with, or AI art imagery. And the reason being is because I like certain styles. So you can have multiple pages open at the same time. I don't recommend for you to run multiple iterations. So that means don't generate this one and then go to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. That's going to back it up. And then it's going to force you into the queue because you're going to be doing it through your own computer off of your web browser, and it's going to notice that you're trying to do too much. So If you see a number here that's really high, that means that it's overloading. So it's too much stuff going on at once. So let's double back and see if I finished this. All right, this one's finished. And let's just check to see if I'm running any other ones, which I'm not sure if I did. I don't think I ran anything else. Yeah, I ran this one and an error came up. So this one, I'm not worried about this one. So I'm gonna get rid of this one because I already got it running. So yeah, this one I tried to do a redshift render. Let's go back. And an error came up on this one as well. So now I'm getting errors. Connection errored out. See that? So that means that I'm having problems with my connections. Interesting. So when that happens, let me just double check. I'm going to duplicate, open another page, and it's going to show that it doesn't want to connect to me. You see that? So preparing space, it's going to take time for it to connect. And that's because maybe I utilized it for too long in one day or something like that. Sometimes they will time you out. And that happens also on the Google Collab page. So when you're on the Google Collab page through here, keep in mind that it could time you out. And or if it does time you out and you're locked out, you don't have access to the GPU, what you're going to do, the smartest thing to do would be go over to your profile in the upper right corner, click it, select it, and then choose another Google account that you have tied to your main Google account. So if you don't have any other Google accounts, then I would recommend for you to add another one and start over a brand new Google Gmail account from scratch. Once you get your Google Gmail account, then you'll be able to tie it in over here once you signed it into your web browser. So other than that, it looks like I'm not going to be able to do too much unless... All right, so it let me in now. So I'm in right here. Let me just start from scratch so y'all folks can see kind of what you would have needed to do when the page just opens up. So we got the model. We're going to go down to Midjourney version 4. And we will go into the prompt extend. Highlight this, copy. And then we'll bring it to, where's that one that I was on? Right here. Okay. So here it says enter prompt style applied automatically right next to the generate button. Right click, left click, and then paste. So I put everything in there. And then we can just generate without having an image just to see what it does. So we'll hit generate. And now you see it says queue. See the queue? So this is basically telling me that there's 4 requests ahead of me. So I have to wait. So it's going to give me some time to wait and it's going to drop down. Now it's 6 requests ahead of me. So it's up to the third one, up to the first or the second one. Now the queue is dropping. Now it's going to process. So now it's moved past a certain amount. And there we go. So there you go with a really nice graphic. It's of a beautiful cyberpunk style, and then a whole bunch more that they put in there from this prompt extend on huggingface.co. So this prompt extend gave me a good amount of stuff to plug in, and like I said, all I put in there was beautiful cyborg. So I'm telling you folks, this stuff is just, it's crazy, but you can really come up with some amazing stuff. So I'm gonna keep her. She looks good. Look like she got some wings, which I never thought of before. Excuse me, in terms of creating that particular style. So let's see. I have in the past tried a bunch of cyborgs with wings, but it never really came out the way I wanted it. So I stopped trying it. So we hit save. And this looks actually good. So we'll go to image. We'll try to use that image that I was plugging in. Hit open. And now we got the image in there. We're going to increase the strength to about 0.8 just to start off. Now, when you first start off doing your generations, keep in mind that the initial generation is probably the first time that graphic was generated based on your text prompt. Because a text prompt is giving it a detail as to what you want it to generate. So this, how the machine learning tools work and the AI art generators work, they have to be trained by you. So you're training them with the text prompt. So the very first time you push it through, it's going to come up as well with a random seed. So for now, it's on 0. So talking about seed, what is a seed? A seed is basically like a pod location where that graphic is going to be located at. So that graphic can actually be located on a server being hosted by another computer, so to speak, right? Since it's on the online world and it's through the internet, through a web browser, it's being hosted by huggingface.co's servers. So the seed actually is a location on their server, somewhere on some computer that they have, and that they're offering the data for. So in order to get to the seed, you have to have the seed address, which means you have to have the seed number. So if you have that actual seed number and you have all the settings set up the same way, identically, even in terms of the image that you inputted, you can actually generate the identical image because you located it. Now, before you actually hit generate, if nobody else generated that particular graphic, then the very first iteration is the first seed location that it's in. Now, keep in mind, if you're on 0, it's going to be random, so you won't be able to get back to it through this huggingface.co page through Finetuned Diffusion. So the way you would do it is move this a little bit over to the right, or plug in a number in there and then hit generate. So that way you're giving it a designated location to be seeded at. That's when you first hit the generation, when you first start. So for now, mine is random. I don't know what the seed is, so I'm not going to actually be able to get back to this one if I leave it and go somewhere else. So let me just choose something randomly by moving it, and we'll lock into this seed. We'll copy it for future reference if I wanted to. That would be something that's really crucial and critical if you want to get back to it. So now we're going to generate off of this graphic to see what it does. Hit generate, and it looks like it's moving pretty fast. And that's all we were able to get out of it. So it didn't do exactly what I wanted. I thought it was going to take the text information and come up with 3 girls that are cyborgs. But if it doesn't do that right away, you're going to have to experiment. So I'll do beautiful. Let's put 3 beautiful cyborgs. Let's try that and see if it can do that. Now, another thing you would have to do is play around with your settings. So we have guidance scale, steps, width, and height. All this pertains to what you want the graphic to do. So with the guidance scale, this is going to give it visual quality somewhat higher or somewhat lower depending on where you choose to put the scale at. And this is going to be based on your prompt. So if you want it to look more like your prompt, you're going to bring the scale all the way down, maybe to 0. And when you hit generate, it's going to give you the exact graphic that you put in from image to image. So let's see if it does that. Another thing is steps. If you bring the steps too far down, it's going to blur out the image. If you go too far to the right, it 9 times out of 10 may fail because it takes a lot of computations when you go higher and higher in steps. But also the steps will give you a much more accurate graphic, and the visual quality may improve a great deal. So a way to figure it out in terms of what your balance zone is, because you have to balance them out. You should use this guide here where it says examples, and it has model, prompt, and then it helps people to understand what type of scale and steps work for which particular model that you choose. So this is the kind of thing that you can play with. So like if you're using the Archer model and you come up with a specific prompt, they recommend 7.5 as a good medium point and a good averaging zone of where it would give you higher and higher quality graphics. And then steps would be 50. So from that zone, you could go up and down, play around with the scale, play around with the steps to navigate in between these zones to come up with something that looks really good. So on and so forth. So each one, you play around with it. So for mine, I found that when I go and use Midjourney version 4 style, if you go up to about 9 or 10 in the scale, is really going to do well. And if you go up to about 70 in the steps, it's going to bring out some amazing quality. So keep that in mind. And then the width and height, you basically want to go based on the graphic. It's not really going to change too much unless you change on an extreme level and this graphic is not the same size for the pixel quality that you're trying to get out of your width and height. So right now I got my width and height set to 512 by 512. That's actually a cube or a square, but this is a rectangle shape. So that means that I should have a high height, something to that effect, and then maybe a width that's ranging in between that. That way my graphic doesn't look too offset, and then it actually looks pretty decent because the graphic's gonna pick up from all of the different information that you give it. So you see how this one is a tall graphic, basically like a portrait mode for like a camera, smartphone or whatever. So this one ends up being tall as well. If I don't use an image to image and I just go without it, it's gonna go based on what you choose with width to height. But whatever you put with width to height, if you do have an image, like I said, it's gonna offset it if it's too different. So this should be good. So let's hit generate and see what it does for now with steps at 25. So luckily there's not too many people running on the actual server, so it's not putting me in the queue too far up. So as you see, the queue was at 2 starting out, and now it's almost done processing. You can see like a little gray thing that's loading, and this doesn't look good. And the reason being is because I'm way too low in the guidance. So the guidance is like all the way down. So let's bring the guidance back up to like 3 and run it again. That looks horrible. So depending on where you're set up at, it may not even look like anything. The graphic may look really bad. All right, so here we go. Now we're getting somewhat abstract. Let's go down on the steps and see what the steps does. So you got to play with these going back and forth to see where you want to get your graphic at. But this doesn't look too bad. I actually like all of the chaos going on there. So I'm going to save that one because I might be able to use it for image to image. Hey, booby. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to delete that. Save it as Cyborg 14. And we'll try to generate again and see what we get here. So this one may generate super fast because I brought the steps all the way down. So when you bring the steps all the way down, it moves in the generation process because it's less computations that it takes to get this actual graphic to generate. So if you go much higher in scale, or not scale, but in steps, it's going to take longer. But you're going to get a higher quality graphic. This also looks pretty nice. So I like that style for some reason. It's interesting what it's trying to generate. And as you see, it's still the same type of graphic. It's not going too far away from this style. The reason being is because I have it at a fixed seed, so it's at the same seed that I started out with. So let me hit generate again. I changed the steps to 70 this time. So now it's way high in steps. And there's not that many people using it because you see it started out at a 4.9 processing. So it should process pretty fast, even though I stepped it up to 70. And there we go. Now she's starting to become recognizable. So a lot of the noise and a lot of the pixels are starting to form up, to develop and become more well-defined. As you can see, her nose is well-defined, her lips is well-defined. So all it's really waiting for is the guidance scale to go up. So let me take this guidance scale all the way up to about 8, just so you can see the zone of reference where we're going to bring this graphic into view and it's going to start making sense. All right, so I like this one again. So I like all these iterations. I may even use it to try to create more like a stable diffusion style or the forum style video. But I can create my own video if I wanted to in whatever unique way I want with all the images that I try to generate, because I can do it individually and then maybe bring it onto Blender and maybe some other video editing software and then go in and create videos on using it. So we hit generate. Let's see what it's going to do. We're at 70 and we're at the guidance scale of 8. And for some reason it's moving very fast. So that would mean that not too many people are using it at this very moment. So let's see what we get. Should finish. There we go. So now it is way more well defined. As you can see, now it has style that we can tell it's a woman. We can tell it's a cyborg to some degree. We can really tell that it's doing something unique. You see that? So another thing that you can go to doing is this image to image. You can raise the transformation strength a good amount as well. So I like to go all the way to about 9 or 0.9. And this transformation strength, every tool doesn't have this. Pretty much, I think this is the only AI art generator that has a transformation strength, but it definitely makes a difference. So from there, we'll just hit generate just to see what it does. So we're going to save this one as well. Actually, I should have turned all these into alphabets, but it's okay. I'll probably just go back in and rename them. All right, so let's hit generate again. And let's see what it does. And it's still going fast. That is pretty amazing. So I'm getting lucky pretty much. Now look at that. Something entirely different has been generated. Now I didn't change the seed. I didn't change much of anything. But I did change the transformation strength. So that made a difference in what type of output, what type of graphic I was able to come up with. So you can play around with the transformation strength every now and then to see if you get something different. And these are starting to look pretty photorealistic. And it has really nice, stylish, more like cyborg garb or whatever. So we hit generate again. We go into 8.82. And all of this is using this particular image. I'm surprised I wasn't able to get 3 cyborgs. Generally, when I use another tool, another AI art tool, I can get something similar to what I put in as the image to image. But for some reason, this style, Midjourney 4 version 4 style, is not allowing me to do that. So here we go. We went back down and there we go. Still looking pretty interesting. Now, one thing I noticed is that all this is kind of discombobulated. So it's a lot of stuff going on still. But I'm not worried about that. Maybe if I take away 3 beautiful cyborgs, it may work a little better. So let me just go beautiful cyborg. Try that and generate it. I'm not going to save this one. I'm not worried about that. So hopefully y'all folks have learned a lot out of what I've been able to show y'all folks. The whole purpose of me coming up with these live streams is to try to get mainly my family or friends who are out there on Facebook to get a bird's eye view of what's possible, and for them to get to see what I'm doing and how I'm able to do it. So yeah, this doesn't look too good. This is not actually what I wanted. But what you want, if you do have issues with a graphic, say it doesn't turn out too good, with using the actual AI art tools, you're always going to have issues every now and then. So don't sweat it. Change like any little detail. So you change maybe the guidance scale, change the steps a little bit, maybe change your seed. So I'm going to change the seed, and you can actually bring it up and down one step just to see what difference you got. Let me bring it down like 5 steps. And you have this little up arrow and down arrow in this field over here, which is pretty cool. Hit generate, and then we'll see what it does. So when you change the seed, it's going to go in and literally generate something from scratch. It may look similar to what you previously done, maybe a slight difference, but it will go in and it may generate something entirely new. So as you can see, we got something new. And this one isn't too bad, but it isn't that good as well compared to a lot of the stuff that I was generating in the past. So the reason being why is kind of looking weird is because my text prompt is not that detailed. So I have a lot of information in there, yes, but I'm not telling it exactly what I want. I'm just being general. So I put beautiful cyborg. That's a general statement. If you wanted it to be something more specific, you would have to detail in between and tell it exactly what you want. So the more details that you put into your text prompt, the better it is for your graphic. So beautiful cyborg, I'll put beautiful Asian cyborg. Let's try dancing. I don't know. Dancing pose. And this probably won't work, by the way, folks. Sorry, I was away from the microphone. In a dancing pose. All right, so beautiful Asian cyborg in a dancing pose, and then I left all the rest the same. Gonna hit generate, and let's see what it does. So you can put like the race of a person, and it'll go in and then come up with that specific race, if that's what you're looking to do. And it will literally go in and construct it based on that. So there we go. So I just changed the race and I put it in a dancing pose, and look at that. It went in and it's trying to create a dancing pose. Pretty cool. So to build upon this, I would have to go a little bit more further, but I could use the same exact seed to do that, and then play around with other settings and see what I can come up with. Now, if I want to go really on a deep end, I can go right click, save image as, save her, and then use her in the future for something else. So let's go cyborg 18. I like the shape and the cyborg, more of the wearable outfit that it has. I like that part. So let me just go image to image and bring her in. And where is she? I'm not sure where I downloaded her. Hold on one second. Save image as. Okay, it's in pictures cyborg, my bad. So we'll go in, go to my cyborg folder, and then try to find her. Here she is. All right, so we bringing her in, and what we're gonna do is change the text prompt. So now we'll do something very different. Let's see. Here we go. So we'll put Cyber Dog or Cyber Cat. Let's try Cyber Cat. Hit submit. See what it does. Okay, Cyber Cat. Copy all this. And then we're going to go in and highlight over this and paste. But we want to make sure that the tail ending stuff that they have is still the same, because I like a lot of the tail ending stuff. So what I mean by that is sharp focus, illustration, a lot of the information that they had in there I want to keep. So let's go back, see what it's saying. Sharp focus, intricate, hyper detailed, award-winning masterpiece, beautiful lighting, octane render, digital art. Okay, we'll just paste it over that. Put a comma. And then scroll up and just take some of the stuff out. Like sharp focus is in there, so that's redundant. We will delete that. Anything redundant, we want to delete. ArtStation, so trending on ArtStation. Delete. And let's see, somebody just tried to open my door. All right, this should be good. And then I'm going to go in and get that UHD 64 pixel stuff and put that in there as well. All right. We'll put it at the tail end. Paste and hit generate. Now let's see what it does. Now every little detail that you omit from your text prompt will change your graphic for sure. So keep in mind, sometimes if you want to get different iterations and different styles, you can play around with your text prompts and see what it comes up with. All right, this one has a queue because people are using it. So now it's at 4. So it's going to take a lot more time. It's at 1, and then it's going to just jump to processing. And here we go. So let's see what it does. Hopefully it does something really, really potent and nice looking. Cyber Cat. Let's see. If that didn't work, I have to type in here. I'm gonna put a Cyber Cat. Whoa. That looks okay. That looks okay, but her torso is kind of messed up. And this is not a cat. So I don't know what happened. It's trying to recreate her. That's what it's doing. Now, one thing I do like is the hands and the fingers. I noticed that this AI art tool is better than a lot of the other AI art tools with the hands and also the face. So with the eyes and things like that, all the details are really coming up, which is impressive in my mind because it wasn't able to come up in a lot of other tools that I was using in the past, including Midjourney or Stable Diffusion or whatever other tools that I was using when I first started. I can fix this part here. I don't know if y'all folks want to see that, but before I do that, let me right click, save it. I'm gonna keep it. I tend to keep almost everything that I come up with because I know I can take bits and pieces of stuff and start to build upon it. That's one of my secrets, my best kept secrets for AI art, is in the evolutionary process of evolving a graphic like what I just did with image to image. I built one upon another. Then I keep going and I never really give up. I just use small little pieces and then build upon it. I might use MS Paint. I might use another tool like Runway. This is Runway. I've been covering Runway a great deal because Runway helps me to do other stuff like this thing known as Infinite Image. It would behoove you to learn about it. Check out my my YouTube videos for it. I have live streams and all kinds of stuff. but it pretty much will help you to build upon stuff that isn't there. So you can use the AI art tool to build entire scenes or bits and pieces of stuff that you may want to build upon. See, this is some graphics that I literally built everything using the AI infinite image. The only thing that was there was this one car. So I was able to get it to generate all these other cars in this full scene, and I could use it for anything that I want. So it is some potent stuff when you learn multiple tools and then you start to multitask and bounce back and forth and do a lot of different things. So that is a process of AI art evolution as well. Multitasking with multiple tools. Instead of staying stuck and stagnant on one tool, you get to use the best of everything that you have in your toolbox, digital toolbox, so to speak. So what we're going to do here, we're going to generate again, but this time we're going to stray away from the seed. The reason why it's doing the same exact graphic as well is because we have the same seed. So keep in mind when you're using AI art tools and you stay stuck on that same seed, if you're doing image to image from the exact identical seed, you will tend to have this clash of, it's like a clash of titans, so to speak. So this image is clashing with itself, basically, because it's already sitting in this seed. So let's switch the seed to like something crazy, going super far out, and then hit generate, and it should most definitely come up with something unique. So I forgot about that part. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this AI art stuff, so it takes a little time to figure out every little every little move that you make. Sorry about that. My throat is getting a little dry. Sorry about that. I gotta get some water. So every little move that you make, it's not something that, you know, everybody's gonna see right away. If you make this little move, you change this to this scale, you change that to this move, you're not gonna tell exactly what you're doing right away. But over time, the more you play around and manipulate the tool, the better it's gonna get. So look, you can tell this is a cat. So that is an actual cyber cat. And this one looks a lot better. It's very similar to what it did over here. Not over here, but with the other graphic. So the torso area looks like a chest, or a upper portion chest plus shoulder. So it's kind of confused and not sure what to do with that. And the reason being is because this is not well defined as legs. It's really kind of not that great with the graphic. So you can go in and edit some of that stuff out and try to fix it in order for it to work on generating the lower portion. So you can do that on like MS Paint or anything, maybe Photoshop or whatever the case may be. But the legs are not well defined. So that's why it's not really coming up with a good graphic on the lower portion. But you can cut this point out and then, like I said, build upon it. So this would be a good point to show y'all folks that in terms of using Runway, the infinite image. So let me jump into that real quick just to fix this cyber cat. So we'll use this one. I only left it open so y'all folks can see this part of the screen and see that it's possible to build upon using other third-party tools and AI tools in general. So this is Runway AI Magic Tools Infinite Image. So let's hit reset. The way it works, basically, you have these options on the left of the screen. It's defaulted to the cursor. You have a panning tool. You have an eraser or add brush strokes, which will allow you to erase. You have a frame and you have an upload image. So what you see highlighted in blue, this is called the frame. You can move it around when you have the cursor. When you're on pan, you won't be able to move it around. Now I'm just moving the whole entire infinite palette. When you want to add an image, you go upload image, which is basically how you start with it, because you can't do nothing if you don't have an image in there. So let's go, we're going to go to Where did I put those graphics at? Pictures, cyborg. Okay. Cyborg, and then here goes the cyber cat. All right, so what I want to do is erase this lower portion and then put in legs. So we'll just go with the eraser, we'll increase it to a nice brush size, and we'll just get rid of what we don't want. So all of this is going to go. And I'm going to leave the more of the stomach just to see if I can get a nice lower body to be built into it. All right, so I don't know if I want to delete that, but it looks like the arms are missing as well. So it definitely had problems with the arms. So I'll delete that part right there. I may want to build in arms as well. But for now, I'm not worried about the arms. I just want to get the lower portion. So we'll just get this part, that little stub out of there. And then we'll go to the cursor. So with the cursor now, I can move the frame. See that blue box? So from what I've learned so far, it's best to keep the frame close to the graphic. So most of the frame should be in the graphic zone. And then a small little tiny portion should be covering the area that you want to fill or you want to build upon. Reason being is because it's going to take the data and register the data from the actual image that you're trying to build off of and onto. And it's going to take that data and it's going to basically use it to figure out what to build next. Also, in this text prompt zone, where you see is a little blank on the bottom, you want to put in details that are very, very specific as to what you want to generate. So right now, what I want to do is complete the lower body. So I'm going to put complete torso. Usually what I do is put complete legs, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just doing a small little portion where you see the torso area is supposed to be. So we're going to hit generate, and it should theoretically go in and try to fix it. If it doesn't work right away, don't worry about it. You can use these little arrows where it says 1 through 4, so it goes into more iterations so you can build upon. All right, so that looks like the stomach has been fixed to some degree. That doesn't look too bad. So I can use that if I wanted to, or I can bypass it and hit cancel if I don't like it. So I do notice that this green highlighted area is trying to mess with the results. So what I want to do is delete that. Any of this green color, just get rid of it. And what we'll do is try to make it straight across, so it's easier for it to detect what it needs to fix. And then you have back arrow, you have an undo and a redo. Let me undo a little bit and go back so I can actually work on a better positioning. So I'm going to get rid of that and everything below it. Let me try one more time. We're going to get rid of that. And because there's no separation between the legs, I think the legs need to be separated. If you can see a well-defined separation, then it would actually work a lot better, I think. Let's see. Graphics not well defined. All right, that worked a lot better. See, so I had to pretty much tear apart the center, and there we go. Now we're getting something. So when you have issues like that, it's probably because your graphic is clashing. See how the graphics clashing right here. So the thigh looks way too big, and it's not showing a well-defined partition. So you may want to fix those things with your graphic, but this one looks okay. I'm just gonna erase some stuff. I'm gonna keep it and get rid of this. It looked like a little bird or whatever that is. I don't know. And the shoelace flying around. I might actually try to reconnect this. And I got a call. I'm gonna end this session, folks, around this point because I need to get some stuff done anyway in my house. But other than that, we will end it very soon. Hold on one second. Hey, booby. Oh, you got a package? Okay. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I dropped my mouse. I'm over in my living room, so I'm just trying to do what I can. Hold on one second. Let me see what it does here to try to fix some of that. But I could make it look really good. Yeah, that's not too bad, but I don't know what all of this stuff is on it. That looks better. Except that. And I guess I'll leave it like that. And in the future, I'll go back to it and build upon it. Sorry, in the future, I'll go back and build upon it. I'm gonna download it and just sit it here and superimpose it over that one, I guess. I don't know. But that's just an example of stuff that you could do. You can just literally just keep building. Other than that, I'm gonna end this session here. But before I end it, I just want to do something that may look impressive. Hopefully I can get it to work. So let me just show you real quick. All right, we're gonna go up to a guidance of 10. Steps is gonna be 70. We'll go with a random seed, and the image we're gonna use now is gonna be something of high quality. So we want to get really high quality graphic. So the kind of images that I've been able to figure out that are high quality were generated from when I first started playing around with this fix or whatever, fine-tuned diffusion. So let me see real quick. Let's try this one. It's a car image. It has a nice background, so on and so forth. We're going to try to see what we can generate with this one. And we're at 0.9 in the transformation strength. Let's hit generate. Hopefully it works. This one was an error that popped up a while back, so we'll just try this. Actually, no, it wasn't an error. This is the Gradio app version through the Google Collab, so it should work. This is the one that I'm using to bypass the queue. Let's see what we get. In the meantime, I'm gonna run to the door because I got something of a package that was sent to my house, and I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I didn't get a chance to go. I actually tripped over my microphone. Hold on one second. Okay, folks, I'm back. So let's see what we got. What came out of the toaster oven? Look at that. Now, folks, I'm telling you, if you use some really high powered graphics, something that has very, very high pixel quality as an image to image, you may surprise yourself with the settings that I just put in there for this fine-tuned diffusion and in utilizing the Midjourney version 4 style. I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing and stunning what kind of graphics you can get. So this is a police car, and it looks like somebody's in there. But what is this? I don't know what that is. That looks like some sort of electricity coming out of the ground. And this looks like more like not an android, but maybe a drone. Looking at it, maybe a drone camera. I'm not sure, but this is pretty interesting. And as you can see, you got a reflection here. Looks like there's some sort of watery substance on the surface of the floor. Wow, there's a lot going on here. And this is probably inside a warehouse or some sort of I don't know, something cyber like going on here. But that's all because you look in here in the text prompt and it says cyborg and cop car, yellow and blue. That's where you get the yellow and blue color of the details. But look at how fine-tuned the detail is for the car. This is where this fine-tuned diffusion steps in, because it really gives you some great details. Look at this. Every little line is well defined. There's no mistaking it for what it is. You can tell this is an actual cop car. You can really seriously tell. So, man, that is amazing. And then I have all the other text in there that basically will give it specific shapes and contours and different designs in that particular style, or differing styles that are also put into the text prompt. So wow, that is pretty powerful, and it's very similar looking to this one, but the only difference is that it went in and it changed the background dramatically, as well as the feel of the pixels. So the original image, let me see if I can bring it up for you. Go to my hot rods and try to get that graphic for you. Let's see, which one is it? I don't even see it here. I know it's one of these. Probably another graphic. Oh, it's probably in my cyborg. Nope, it's not in the cyborgs. How about the AI renders? No. Hold on, let's see where I got it from. Yeah, it is in the cyborg one. Okay. So let's go to that real quick. Somehow I closed everything. That's weird. All right. So that one is in here. Here it is. Right click, open with my photo viewer, and there you go. So this is it. I was able to generate this off of another image to image generation, playing around when I first learned how fine-tuned diffusion works. But this one was much lower quality than a lot of the other ones, but still look what it's able to crunch out. So as you can see, it's the same shapes and contours, but the end product is way more well defined. Look at that. Pretty crazy. All right, so let me go in and try another graphic. One more for the road. And this time we will use, let's see. Let's get crazy, actually. Let's get crazy. Let's use this, Cyborg. I don't think it's going to do anything well-defined with this. After this, I'll put something else. I just want to see what this Cyborg does. With the same details. Sometimes you want to go off the charts with what you're trying to do image to image just to see what you get as experiments. And that's how I was able to really come up with something wild and off the wall. So some of my stuff is just out of control. Some of it is just makes sense. So sometimes you want a bit of everything in the mix. And then sometimes you just want to be well defined with what you're coming up with. Not so abstract. Depends on what you're trying to get from your viewers in terms of a reaction or something like that. Your audience, so to speak. So let's see. Still running. And let's check to see. Oh, I'm not a bot. All right, it's done. Well, I was trying to time out from my Google Collab. Holy smokes. What in the world just happened? See, this is the thing. I'm telling y'all, folks. Things like this will happen where you go in thinking you're going to get one thing and you get something entirely different that will throw you through a huge loop. This is bonkers. What makes it bonkers? The eyes. Look at that. What in the world just happened? The eyes in this graphic here were just red eyes and dark all around it. Now look at this one. And it looks like a cyborg. Seriously, it looks really good. The quality is really stand out. Holy crap. I don't know what I just did with this fine-tuned AI art generator. It is just crazy. And then the head looks much better. See, this one is flat. This one is round. I like the round shape of the head. Now look at the ears. It turned gold. How did this gold piece come? Where did this come from? I have no idea. I'm telling you, folks, this is starting to get crazy. Or beyond crazy. This is even way beyond. I can build upon this and try to make the body look even better. We'll see. But let's go save as, and I'm definitely saving this one. Holy smokes. That was astonishing. I might have to stop on that note because I don't think I'm going to get anything too far better than that. Wow. Pretty crazy. All right. Let's go one more time and put it in. Let's see what we can do. This time we're not going to use a cyborg. We will use an environment. And I guess we'll use the cars, bunch of cars flying around on the screen. This one. See what that does. Say generate. Keep in mind we got the settings for guidance scale of 10, steps at 70. The width is 704 pixels and the height is 904 pixels. And then the seed is not random. It's locked in at way over 1 billion. It's 1.2 billion and some other number. I don't know. That doesn't matter. But we know that it's the same seed that I'm using because as you can tell, the graphics look really stunning. And I want to keep that running, that theme. So if you want to get that kind of thing and say you get really nice graphics on one particular seed, just go and keep changing the image to way different extremes to see if you can get something entirely different. Sometimes that helps. As long as it's not the same exact graphic that you started with. Whoa, 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 whoa. What just happened? Look at this guy right here. This is an actual robot. It looks like a robot in there, in that scene. I can see his face right here. It looks like he has a gold face. Holy crap, this is his legs right here. To the right. I don't know if y'all folks can see my mouse moving around, but you probably can't. Over here, it looks like another head or face structure is being constructed over here in gold in the upper left corner. And look at all these lights. Holy crap. Folks, this is definitely on a different level entirely. Look at the cars. What in the world is going on? This is just pretty dope. It's dope. I love it. So this is one for the record books. I'm gonna save this one and definitely put it in my archives. So it stems from, which one generated that? Cyborg 8. So I'm gonna put Cyborg 8 Alpha as a stem from that. But now you see what's possible, how I did it. Like I said, I started off with some basic graphics and then kept building upon it and building upon it and building upon it, and kept going back in and reinserting them as image to image. And over time, the graphics is stunning, especially with your settings for your options at certain levels. And then your text prompt, make sure you keep the text prompt the same. That's what I recommend. If you already got something that generated really, really high quality and really good, then lock in on that text prompt and just manipulate the image to image and just keep going in with different images. Let's do one more just for shits and giggles, and let's go outside of the box to something else. So now, I don't know if I want to use some bizarre stuff like this. All weird kind of colors. This is an abstract graphic. With abstract graphic, it's probably gonna go really on a bizarre level. Let's just see. I don't know what it's gonna do, but this is like a abstract graphic of a face, and it has a whole bunch of colors going all over the place. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna really generate anything unique, but you never know. It's all based on your settings and your seed location as well as the text prompt. I think it's going to generate something stupendously wild, but we will see. See how long it's going to take. We're at 80, 90%, and it's done. Look at that. At 100. Boom. Hold on. What? Whoa. That's crazy. This would be a great starting point, so I could use this as an image to image. But what in the world is going on there? I have no idea. This, look at this yellow flash in the blue streak. Wow. Yo, I don't know what to say about this. I'm just gonna save it. Saving it, and I'm gonna end this session like that. That got some swag, I'll tell you that much. All right, I'm gonna put Cyborg 22. Thanks a lot for showing up, folks. Thanks a lot for watching my live stream. If y'all folks are on YouTube, tuning in from wherever on the planet, thanks a lot to the developers of this tool, Finetuned Diffusion. It is just mind-blowing, way beyond anything I've ever used, because of all the different options that you have on screen, and then the fact that it's something that they're offering up online for free to get this kind of quality and to be able to just dream up what you want and keep going and going and going and going to no end in sight. That in itself is no freaking joke, folks. So I don't know what I'm going to create in days from now, weeks from now, months from now, in a year or so, but I do know that I'm building up an archive, and I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going and going and going. But in terms of uniqueness and originality, this by far can take you to the next level for sure, for free. You're not paying anything for it, obviously. So hopefully they can keep this thing running on Hugging Face and through the Google Collab, because I like the fact that you can bypass the queue, as y'all folks see. Very simple, very user friendly. Ping, ping, ping. It's done. So other than that, I'm out of here. Love and peace to all. Mike Pugh signing off. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to hit the thumbs up. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.